Okay, so here's a variation from the monoplata submission when we make a mistake and we forget to trap his wrist on our hip, and he's gonna stretch his arm out, and we're gonna switch it up, and we're gonna go for a straight arm lock submission. So I step over his body, grab his tricep, hand, elbow, hips, cross my feet by his neck. So as I mentioned before, we're supposed to pin his wrist on our hip with the fist on the wrist. But if we forgot, or maybe he preemptively stretched his arm out, and now it's too late, I can't pin it down. It's quite difficult for me to grab his arm and bend it and push it back inside, especially if he's resisting, because not only did he stretch his arm up, but he rotated it a little bit, okay? And if he rotates it too much, if he can get his thumb all the way down and he turns on his side a little bit, he could try to drop the arm in and make an escape, okay? You have to really mess up a lot of things for that to happen, but it's possible. And what I'm trying to do when I have this position, I'm trying to grab his tricep and I'm trying to rotate his elbow towards my belly. So I'm trying to pull this way. I don't want to say clockwise or counterclockwise because it's relative to which side we're on. In this case, it's counterclockwise. I'm trying to rotate his arm. On that side, it would be clockwise. He's trying to do the opposite. He wants to rotate his arm clockwise, and he wants to bring his elbow down to the mat and turn his palm up. Okay, so just remember, he's trying to put his elbow on the mat. I'm trying to put his elbow on my belly. So when I have this grip and he stretches out his lower half of his arm, I can keep trying to rotate it back into me. I can kind of counter rotate his rotation. He's trying to rotate the other way, and we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle. It's a bit of a battle, okay? But I'm gonna switch to an arm lock now. So the first thing we have to do for the arm lock is we have to uncross our feet. Uncross your feet and sit up on your hand, okay? Now, when I sit up on my hand, I wanna keep his wrist in my armpit. So I'm gonna do a little lift with my arm, okay? His wrist is already in my armpit when I'm on my elbow, but when I sit up on my hand, I want it to stay there. So I lift his arm up with my elbow hooking hand. This hand should stay close to your body. If you put it out here, he's gonna take his arm out. If he's gonna lock his hands together, maybe then we're gonna have to battle for a traditional arm lock. Okay, so we gotta keep our hand close to our body so he can't take his arm out, okay? And if I'm not touching his hand, he could find a way to wiggle his arm out. Even with my hand close, he can find a way to wiggle, okay? So we need to keep tension on his elbow with our elbow gripping hand, okay? And now I wanna use my hand on the mat and I'm gonna scoop my hips until I'm flat on the mat. And then my knee comes inward and I hook my foot behind his neck. This is why we need to uncross our feet so that we can hook our foot behind his neck. This will prevent him from doing the hitchhiker escape. So hypothetically, if I took my leg out from under his neck, because his arm is behind my armpit, he's gonna go ahead and rotate, 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 and he can run the hitchhiker escape. So we don't want that to happen. If I keep my foot hooked under his neck, he cannot hitchhiker because he cannot drop his head to the mat. One thing I like to do, is just a quirky little thing. I like to put my Achilles tendon inside my toes. Not critical for the technique, but it's just a quirky thing I like to do. That lets me know that I'm keeping a good pinch on his neck with my legs. Okay, I don't want to leave my foot hanging out here. Maybe he could grab it, push into his guard or something. So I like to keep a good clamp, insert my Achilles tendon inside my toe. This knee, the outside knee, needs to come in, and we're trying to pinch our knees as tight as we can, which is what we should do for all arm bars. Our elbow needs to be clamping down on his wrist, and you can do a few things with this hand. You can frame on your knee, you can grab his bicep, the gi cloth. You can cup the bicep if it's no gi. In this case, I like to grab the gi cloth because I like to pull it in tight and make sure he doesn't try to slide his arm out. Now that my hips are flat on the mat, I will post my elbow on the mat over here, and I'll grab his gi, or his belt. His pants, his belt, not the kimono. The kimono's it moves too much. The belt is a great grip. If the belt isn't there, the pants are the second best grip. So grab the belt, stay on your elbow. Now that I have his belt, he cannot hitchhiker escape because he cannot run away with his hips. So now I can actually take this foot out from under his head and I can make one more butt scoot out to the side. If I want to, I would probably put my foot back under his head, and then I'll pinch my knees. I'll slowly roll my shoulder back, and we'll get the arm lock. Now you can see there's a lot of space behind my back. I'm sitting up on my elbow. If I wanted to destroy his arm, I just have to fall straight back to my back. It's very easy. I'm teaching this in a very controlled manner so that people can learn without getting hurt. In the competition, to be honest, the second our hips land flat on the mat, once we get to here, if you just pinch your knees and fall straight back, you'll get the submission. It'll be fast, it'll be quick, he might yell. It is dangerous. You don't want to teach this technique like this. I prefer to keep the control, keep it tight, let him wiggle. Good jiu-jitsu technique can happen slowly and efficiently. It doesn't have to be quick and jerky. If you can control them and there's no option for them to escape, you're doing good jiu-jitsu, right? And you can still apply the submission slowly with control while you're talking to a camera. This is how you know you have good technique. And no matter what he does in this situation, he cannot escape. So that is the spiral arm lock variation. So our partner makes a frame, turns into an underhook. I step over his body, put my foot in the back of his head, grab his tricep, and elbow, hips, cross the feet next to his neck. He stretches out his arm. I'm trying to counter rotate the arm. I'm trying to pull his elbow to my belly. I sit up on my hand and uncross my feet at the same time. Scoop my hips. Once, twice, maybe thrice. Our leg comes in. I couple my leg and I can help pinch my knees together, or I can grab the bicep cloth on his gi. I put my elbow on the mat, scoop my hips out, grab his gi belt, pinch the knees, slowly roll the shoulder back, and we get the submission. You can also maintain the grip. Just focus on pinching the knees and pinching your elbow and just lean back a little bit and you'll get the arm lock. Now, another thing we can do if we're doing this technique no gi and there's no belt to grab, I can hook his leg. Now, when you hook the leg, there's nothing behind you. You're gonna fall straight to your back. And we don't wanna break the arm right away. So we have to lift them up with us. Pull him up with your legs. I'm pulling my knees to my chest. And get a good grip on his leg. He's gonna sit up thinking he's gonna escape. It's quite humorous, actually, to watch their face light up with joy because they think, oh my God, I'm gonna escape. No, they're not gonna escape. We're gonna tighten everything up here, and I'm just gonna push him away with my legs, and he will tap well before his back ever touches the mat because we're able to suck everything up nice and tight and pinch down on it and then just push with your legs. The most powerful motion your body possesses is a pushing power with your legs and your back. Push him back down to the mat and we'll get the arm lock and there's nothing he can do about it.